You ever seen those squiggly lines on a hospital monitor and wondered what on earth they actually mean? They might look like random noise, but they're telling a story. It's the secret language of the heart, and today we're going to learn how to decode it.
Every single peak and valley you see here is a direct message from the heart. It's a real-time recording of the electrical impulses that drive every single beat, and it holds all the secrets to the heart's health and rhythm. This isn't just noise, it's basically a detailed report card.
So that's the big question, right? When your heart sends out these signals, what is it actually trying to tell us? Well, let's find out together. To understand the story, first, we've got to learn the alphabet. So, in this first section, we're going to cover the absolute fundamentals of the heart's electrical language.
So what exactly is an electrocardiogram, or ECG? Well, put simply, it's a test that just listens. It listens to the heart's electrical activity. Little electrodes on the skin pick up these tiny signals, and a machine translates them into the lines we see, giving us a live picture of the heart in action.
This here is the heart's own internal wiring. Think of it just like the electrical system in a house. The spark starts at the top, in something called the sinoatrial node, or SA node for short. This little guy is the heart's natural pacemaker. He's the conductor of the whole orchestra, and he kicks off every single beat by sending a signal down these pathways.
And that electrical signal gets printed onto special grid paper. Now, this grid isn't random. It's a super precise graph. As you move from left to right, you're measuring time. And as you move up and down, you're measuring the electrical power or voltage. So what we're really looking at is just a graph of the heart's electrical power changing over time.
Okay, so we've got the alphabet down. That's the grid. Now it's time to learn the most important word in this entire language. This one word describes a single complete heartbeat.
And this is it. The PQRST complex. Every time your heart beats normally, it writes this signature. It's the absolute core of every ECG. Once you can read this single word, you are well on your way to understanding the whole story.
So let's break that word down. The first little bump, the P wave, is when the two upper chambers, the atria, give a squeeze. Then comes the big spike, the QRS complex. This is the main event. It's the powerful lower chambers, the ventricles, contracting to pump blood out to the whole body. And that final bump, the T wave, is just the ventricles resetting, getting ready for the very next beat. So, simply put, atria squeeze, ventricle squeeze, and then reset. That right there is the rhythm of life.
Okay, we know the word. Now let's see how it builds into a complete sentence. The story of a healthy, normal heart rhythm.
You know, professionals don't just guess. They use a system, and it's actually really logical. First, they calculate the rate. How fast is it beating? Second, is the rhythm regular? Are the beats nice and evenly spaced? Then they look at the P waves and measure the key intervals to make sure all the electrical timing is perfect. This step-by-step process turns a complex puzzle into a solvable problem.
When everything checks out, the rate is between 60 and 100, the rhythm is regular, and all the waves look just right. It's called a normal sinus rhythm. This is our baseline, our gold standard. It's the story of a healthy heart, and it's what we compare everything else against. And this is exactly what a normal sinus rhythm looks like. Notice how each beat is almost a perfect copy of the one before it. The spacing is regular, and that PQRST shape is consistent. This is the calm, steady narrative we always want to see. But, you know, every good story has a few plot twists. The heart's rhythm isn't always perfect. So in this next section, we'll look at what happens when the story goes a little off script. Take a look at this comparison. On the left, we've got our normal rhythm, but on the right, that's sinus tachycardia. The shake of each beat is still normal, but notice how they're all crammed together. That's the heart just beating way too fast, over 100 beats per minute. The story is the same, but the pacing is absolutely frantic. And here, we have the exact opposite problem, sinus bradycardia. Brady just means slow. Here, the heart rate drops below 60 beats per minute. On the ECG, you can literally see those wide gaps between the beats. The story is just unfolding, way too slowly.
Now, this is where things can get really messy. This is atrial fibrillation. The P waves, that orderly little squeeze of the atria, they've just disappeared. Instead, you get this chaotic, quivering baseline, and the rhythm becomes completely irregular and unpredictable. The story has totally lost its structure.
This is one of the most serious plot twists there is, ventricular fibrillation. Look at that ECG. It's just complete chaos. This isn't a beat anymore. The ventricles are just trembling or fibrillating. And if there's no coordinated squeeze, no blood is being pumped. This is a life-threatening emergency, and it's exactly why understanding an ECG is so critical.
And that brings us to the climax of our explainer, using the ECG to identify the most critical event of all, a heart attack happening right now. This is a 12-lead ECG, which gives us 12 different views of the heart all at once. Yeah, it looks incredibly complex, I know. But for a trained professional looking for a heart attack, there is one very specific, very important clue hidden in all these lines.
And that crucial clue is called ST elevation. Remember our PQRS complex? The ST segment is the part right after that big QRS spike. When a coronary artery gets blocked, that part of the wave elevates, rising abnormally high off the baseline. This one sign tells doctors not just that a heart attack is happening, but where it's happening, allowing them to act fast and save lives.
So, as we've seen, the ECG is so much more than just a bunch of squiggles. It's a language. It's a detailed narrative. From a simple, fast heart rate to spotting a life-threatening heart attack, it is a truly powerful, life-saving diagnostic story.
We've decoded the basics of the heart's secret language, and it leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? Now that you have a little glimpse into how it all works, what story do you think your own heart is telling?